not in it. They did a good job. They tried to keep the fans happy. Did you see it? We didn't see it. No. Yeah, we don't. She doesn't watch scary movies. What did you think of it?
I thought it was okay, but not as good as your movies.
That's a very good answer. Love you, man.
Hello, I want to ask you, do you want to play in the new song they asked you for some flashback scenes? For some cameo, both? Yeah, both.
Do we want to? Look, they were dedicated to us, we are dedicated to them. If the fans require it, and the producers can do it, I would do it.
That was a very good answer. Yes. Ditto.
Hold you back.
But I'm dead.
Flashbacks.
Flashbacks.
If what?
Flashbacks.
Oh, flashbacks. No, totally.
Not flashing, flashbacks.
I'm down with flashing and flashbacks. I've actually flashed in movies.
Yes.
Yeah. For real. Yeah, very good.
Whatever makes the fans happy.
Yeah.
My question is for all of you, and I would like to ask if you like horror movies by yourself, and which one are your favorite horror movies?
What was the first part?
If you like horror movies, and which one is your favorite horror movie?
I have enjoyed horror movies when I was younger. And favorite Saw movie or favorite horror movie?
Horror movie.
Well, I have to put Saw in there somewhere because we were a part of it. But I like The Exorcist. Or I didn't like it, but it got to me when I was 15 years old. Remember the first Exorcist? Yeah.
Saw has to, I'm very dedicated to Saw. But when I was very little, I don't know the name of the movie, but it was in black and white. And I was at a friend's house, and I walked by, and it was on the TV, and it was chopped off heads flying around in the house. And I had is this movie known? No. I had a reoccurring dream for the next 10 years. The very last dream I had, the heads were giving me a birthday party. So I reconciled it, but that scared me more than any other movie since.
I think that I prefer psychological horror to gore, but my favorite psychological horror movie of all time is Roman Polanski's Repulsion. Anybody seen this? It's amazing, with Catherine Deneuve, and it has a brilliant jazz score, and it's scary as hell. Repulsion. You can probably get it on Netflix.
A recommendation, because we have horror fans. I remember one called Polanski, I think, The Fearless Vampire Killers. Do you know that movie? Very creepy. If you haven't seen it, maybe you take a look.
This question is, the set looks always different when you're on set. And how is it then when you watch the movie, the final movie? When you see yourself in this scene, how do you feel when you do that?
When you're on the set, things can be quiet. People are concentrating, working, but every time I saw the movie after we finished it, it was very hard hitting. With the music, of course, like every film, but I was very impressed when I saw the atmosphere on screen.
The sets were amazing. Like Saw 3, the detail, it was like, it didn't feel like you were walking onto a set, it was like you were in that world. And it was funny when we started rehearsals, I walked in for the first time and I was very disturbed. And then Tobin and I rehearsed and got into the characters. And when I come back on set, I was like comforted by the crazy, violent implements implements of violence. But they were so amazing that it was unique in that way for a set.
I think I was always impressed on set with, like you say, Shawnee, the detail of the visual effects work and all the makeup work. It was incredible. Francois, I tried to find his name, but the guy who's the head of the department, he made sure that everything was absolutely real. But what was amazing was that on film, it's even better. I mean, it was even scarier. You know, because when we're on the set, you can say, oh, well, you know, I see it, I know it's fake. But on screen, it very real, came alive. It was, brutal.
Hey there. I would like to know, how did you get involved with the project, and what's your first thoughts about the series? It's a question for all of you.
It was very odd. I was in New Mexico making a movie, and I got a random call from the producer, Mark Berg, saying, we want you to do this. So I was lucky I didn't have to jump through any hoops. And I was playing a cop, so I had my mustache already. Yeah, I came with mustache.
I think many of us knew the producers. You know, it's a nice way to work, you know, and kind of mi familia, you know. He called, I think we were all asked to be in it, and James Wan, the director of the first one, had a crush on me from the 80s, he told me. And so they asked me to gave the script, and they said, will you do this scene? And I was so disturbed by the scene. I said, I don't know if I can do this. And they said, come in. And they showed me that scene. That's how they got the movie made, is they filmed the jaw trap scene, but Lee Winnell was in the trap. And I watched this thing, and I was like, yeah, I want to be disturbed and do that.
I had a meeting, and I was told that, do you want to do this part? Do you remember the black dye that was in the thing and the machine twisted in? And they said, do you want to do that? And I said, sure. He says, but maybe we've got another character for you, so if you do that, then you can't do the other one. And I took a chance and I said, I'll wait. And I got lucky that I ended up being Hoffman. And sometimes in our business we get lucky, you know.
I have a two-part question. One is for Shawnee, and the other one is for the three of you. For Shawnee, how was shooting the needle pit scene in part 2? And for all of you guys, we're all here because we're fans of you. Are there any people in the industry that you are yourself a fan of, you would want to meet sometime?
The needle pit scene was, the interesting thing about that is I was pregnant, but I didn't tell anyone because they would never let me do it. So my daughter at the time was maybe 6, and she let the cat out of the bag, but luckily it was towards the end of the movie, after that scene, and we were at dinner with Darren Bousman, the director, and she said, Darren, and I'm going, oh no, here comes the secret, oh God, and she goes, there's a baby in my mama's belly and it's this big. But I knew I was safe, you know, I wasn't gonna like endanger the kid. But I wanted to, you know, do the movie, and I wanted to do it how I wanted to do it. Like I wanted to run around barefoot, that drove them crazy. They were afraid I was gonna, you know, cut my foot and the needle pit scene was easy to act because once you got in there, and it was incredible, they had like 250,000 needle. They had students from all over, you know, just for months. They didn't realize how many they would need. And then each one they had to take off the needle and put the monofilament. Right before we filmed the scene, I think it was the stunt guy, he comes over and says, listen, we got all the needles switched but one. We missed. and they put like slippery stuff in there so they would move around. But I got pretty bruised up. I got a steak dinner out of it from the producers that night. That was pretty good. And the baby in my belly is now my 11-year-old son. So that tells you how much time has passed. Yeah.
That's a gutsy actress, right? Did you remember that scene? Clap for the scene. Let's see how many remember. Let's see. We love you Germans, but sometimes you're too quiet. Pretend it's a soccer game. Make us feel good. What was the second part of the question?
If you are yourself a fan of some people in the industry you want to meet sometime?
Look, there's a lot of people that we admire from children as you grow up, but I think people that stand out, you know, old school John Wayne cowboys, Victor, what was the wonderful horror actor? Victor, he was famous, he had the voice, and Vincent Price, people like that, people that are great, sorry, thank you. Too much wine with the Germans last night. People stand out that have quality and they stay with you forever. That's the beautiful thing about movies, you know?
I don't know if there's anyone in particular in the horror genre, but didn't we lose Mr. Romero recently? Yeah, so it's a bummer. Most of the people you'd want to meet are maybe past. The only person I can think of that I'd really like to meet and work for is Ang Lee, great director.
Next question. This question is, how do you prepare yourself for these traps? Like the bear trap, the needle bed. So how do you prepare before you get set in that scene?
You talking about me or everybody?
Everybody.
Well, Shawnee got pregnant. That was part of her preparation for the one trap. We know that. Look, I was lucky enough to put a lot of people in traps in the movie, so I would make fun of them when they were stuck in there. But as far as the traps that I was in, I got lucky to be put in two and get out. And you just show up and try and make it the most real you can. You know what I mean?
Aside from getting pregnant, you don't have to prepare. You just have to get in it and try and get out. Easy.
And I seriously, I consider myself very lucky that for number 5, I didn't get any blood on me at all. And then
You're such a baby with the blood and
it's not my thing. But then in 6, like I really got my comeuppance because I was explaining yesterday after Costas slit my throat and he sat there just grinning over my twitching, bleeding body. The special effects guy got a little bit carried away, and I'm doing my best death, right? And then he pumped the thing one more time, a little too forcefully, you know? And it just went up my nose and in my mouth and all over. And I was like, hey, he stood up and I said, I'll bet you that's in the film. That's gonna make the film. Yeah, you gotta have blood to make it in the horror movie, right? So.
A lot of actors say they love playing the bad guy. So was you guys the same? Did you love playing the bad guy?
Oh, I love playing the bad guy. Yeah, you get to do wonderful, unsavory things, but you never get to kiss the girls. That's the only thing that sucks.
It's a big problem. About playing bad guys? Yes, it's fun.
When did you get to know that you will die in this movie? I think in the third. Did you know that before you got the script, or did they say that's your death? That's the film, or it's all of you film?
It's kind of like Game of Thrones. You know, you could die at any minute. You never know. And especially with the first 3, or the second and third, they were writing as we went. So nobody knew how it was going to end. it kind of, I said yesterday, it kind of has this like scary life of its own. You know, I'd make choices in a scene, and then we get to, like in Saw 2, in the hallway with Beverly, when I was holding her head, I just kind of, and then in Saw 3, you're looking back at it, and that's exactly, you know, it was as if we had planned that, and then, but it worked out. But I remember the rehearsal when we said, what if everybody dies at the end of 3, you know, be Shakespearean, and it was super bitchin' idea at the time, but kind of backfired. Because Amanda could have, I don't know, could have been interesting, but there it is.
Yeah, well, I was pissed off because when we started, like Shawnee said, no, I didn't know. I thought I was going to I was lobbying that I'd get Hoffman. And then I kept telling the producer, this would be so cool, I'll get Hoffman, because everyone's sure that he's the guy. And then I'll go on, because I had a 3-picture deal, right? And I'm thinking, and selfishly, I was just going for the money. And, yeah, when I finally found out I was dying, I was like, really? Really? You're gonna, like, you're taking food and, you know, out of my children's mouths. That's really bad karma. So.
Actors really don't like to die in movies.
Yeah, that's up.
But with Saw, I learned something myself, and this has got nothing to do with Mark. He's a total professional and great actor. But if you were on time at work and you behaved like a giving, good actor to the piece, you had a better chance of staying alive.
Hi there. Thank you for being here in the first place, and thank you for being part of this bloody thing called Saw. My question is, do you have any other projects going on apart from Saw? Any horror movies you're taking part of or anything like that?
I did a movie, and I recommend it because it's something that was very interesting with new people, new directors, called Residue. It's on Netflix, and it's something that I've never been a part of. Very interesting horror type film. Residue. Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
I'm presently working on a very scary project. It's called regrading my quarter-mile driveway, and it involves a pickaxe and a metal rake and a lot of heat, about 3 outfits a day you sweat through, and no, I wouldn't put anyone through watching me do that, but it's a very scary project. That's my current one.
This movie called Asylum. It's unfortunately they started out, it was going to be a lot of great effects, and then the producer did a nifty trick. He took a tax rebate and paid back his investors rather than letting us invest it in the movie. So the director, David Ellis, who did Snakes on a Plane, really good director, he was like, you did what? I thought I had a $10 million budget. They go, oh no, it's only 7. And he's like, so he was very disappointed. He wasn't able to create the effects that he wanted. But it's still pretty cool. Like I play this evil doctor who I lobotomize people with an ice pick. Really cool. I still have the pick as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here to receive us.
You're a very good horror fan.
You know what, guys? Really, one more time. People, I can only speak for these people once. We appreciate you, so give yourself a very good round of applause, real one. I mean that with sincerity.
Thank you guys.
Want everybody together.